Let's turn now to one of our favorite senators from the great state of Tennessee, Senator Marsha Blackburn. And, Senator Blackburn, I appreciate you dressing professionally for this. No hoodie, no biker shorts. It's really, we're not, I mean, I think I'm grateful because we don't expect that anymore.
Well, it is interesting here in the U.S. Senate. I guess supposedly you could walk on the floor in your running shoes and who knows whatever else, because we have no dress code and no standard. But we in our office choose to keep a professional dress code. I think it's an item of respect and an action of respect, not only to the Tennesseans we represent, but to the institution.
I appreciate that, and we'll let that stand on its own. I'd love to turn to the latest on our southern border. We just heard from the Biden administration that they're granting upwards to 500,000 work permits and amnesty from deportation to Venezuelans whose first act on our soil was to break our laws regarding our border. This crisis now has reached, once again, a record number of illegal crossings the month of September, and there's no stopping the Biden administration's neglect. What can you do about this?
One of the things that we are hopeful to do is put an end to this making illegal legal. That's what they're trying to do, and we are hopeful that the House is going to attach H.R. 2 to the CR and send it to us. We do think there may be the votes that we can pass this from the Senate. We've got some Democrats that are in areas that are adversely impacted, and we are very hopeful to pass that and then put the pressure on the Biden administration to actually secure that southern border. People are tired of this, and you look at the numbers, as you rightly said, that are coming across, new records that are coming in. You look at what is happening with some of the other foreign nationals, the criminals and the terrorists that have been apprehended. And now we're seeing this massive uptick in Chinese nationals that are coming to the border. 18,000 so far, mostly single male. And we're quite concerned about this number this year, this number of crossings, and why they are choosing to come in. Who's incentivizing this? So putting a stop to that would be a very good thing.
So H.R. 2, which would tie funding of the government and a continuing resolution to keep from a government shutdown, would compel the border security to be enforced, compel the administration to do that. I think the law is already there compelling them. But the question here, though, is if for some reason the president vetoes that and we do face a government shutdown, is there a resolve that, Republicans always lose the communications battle on this, but it seems to me you've got a great message now. Joe Biden and the Democrats would rather shut down the government rather than shut down the border. Do your fellow Republicans in the Senate have the resolve to see this through?
I think you saw us move forward yesterday to deny the Democrats the opportunity to waive the Rule 16 and put 3 appropriate bills onto that one Milcon bill and not give us the vote. That's a good step. Now, I think it's also important to realize that Chuck Schumer is the cheerleader captain for a government shutdown. He feels like he needs this politically.
Oh, Senator, he's acting like he wants this. He's acting like it's, it's Christmas Eve.
He does want it.
Yeah.
Yes, he does want it. And that is why it's so important for the House to send us a CR and then for them to get busy on their appropriations bills that would actually do some spending reductions, some actual cuts, and then send us those pieces of legislation. Let's have that vote on the floor. Let's see if the Democrats are going to side with the American people that $33 trillion of debt is too much debt. And that we need to start to cut back on this federal spending. It would help to get inflation down. It would send a message that the fiscal house is going to be kept in order are returned to order. So let's get busy with this.
Speaking of inflation, we're now seeing the price of oil reach close to $100 a barrel. And of course, President Biden already depleted our petroleum reserves in a fake attempt to lower gas prices right before the midterm elections last year. He doesn't have any other moves. He's basically beholden to Russia and Saudi Arabia, and he refuses to drill and actually allow America to be energy independent. This is reaching a breaking point now for Tennesseans and every American who literally can't afford to fill their car up with gas.
You're right. I did a telephone town hall the other night with thousands of Tennesseans on it, and one of the callers said to me, what can we do about this? And they talked about the impact on them and how difficult it is to fill up the gas tank, fill up the grocery cart, and pay any of your bills all in the same week. And consumers are feeling this. Now, when you look at OPEC, they have wanted $90 a barrel oil. Right now, it's at about 95. And so they're saying, well, let's push it to $100 a barrel. They're for that. And what do they do with all of that money that they are making? Well, the OPEC nations happen to be in the top 5 holders of U.S. debt. So they're turning around and buying our debt. That is not a good thing for us. That's not a wise strategy.
Right.
We should be using all of our resources, our gas, our oil. We should even be using clean coal technologies. Right now, India and China are the biggest users of our coal. This is something, you know, this strategy of Biden that everybody's got to have renewable energy. That's all they want to have generated. That's all they want to have distributed. That is not serving the American people well.
Yeah.
What it costs to heat and cool your house is up about 40% over where it was 2 years ago.
Yep. And we're right on the brink of winter. And oh, by the way, one of the main beneficiaries is Vladimir Putin and Russia. It's funding his war machine. And at the same time, he turns around and asks you for another $25 billion to help the Ukrainians. Senator Blackburn, I don't want to lose you before we turn to yesterday's testimony of Attorney General Merrick Garland on Capitol Hill. I'm sure you were watching intently because at the very least there were a lot of inconsistencies. Some would argue, I would, that he walked right up to the border, if not crossed the border of perjury, compared to some of the testimony he's given to your colleague Senator Grassley in the Senate. What is your impression of Merrick Garland, and does he still have your faith or the faith of the American people to carry out his duty in a non-political way?
And it was interesting to watch some of that testimony yesterday, and I look forward to having him before us at Judiciary Committee here in the Senate. One of the things that was so interesting to me was that he could not recall who he had talked to. He did not know if anybody had talked to the White House. He said David Weiss did not have full authority to carry out actions against Hunter Biden. He did not know who in the world would have tipped off the Biden transition team and told them that Hunter Biden was going to be interviewed. And he's never heard anything at all about these accounts and the Bidens getting money. He was totally unaware of all of that. So either he is inept or he is lying.
Well, either way, he shouldn't be Attorney General, because I don't want a liar or somebody incompetent, do you?
Yep. Thank goodness he's not on the U.S. Supreme Court.
That's for sure. As you're seeing the impeachment inquiry process begin now in the House of Representatives, from your view in the Senate, are your colleagues ready to accept articles of impeachment on President Biden? Should they come your way?
If articles of impeachment come before us, for Mayorkas or Garland or Biden, the Senate will take that up. We're required to take that up, and we will take it up.
All right, we'll leave it at that. I appreciate you joining us, Senator Blackburn.
You got it. Take care.
There is more to come on O'Connor tonight. Don't you go anywhere. This is the Salem News Channel.